So social selling, am I invisible? Maybe I don't have enough time.
Thank you so much, Aisha. So, social selling, am I invisible? Maybe I do not have enough time. So, I want to take this opportunity and share a few things about social selling, and with the hope that will help you and we all might learn something. So, a lot of times when we are posting on social media and we're thinking, am I invisible? How come nobody likes my post or I don't get enough comments? So, if that is something which happens to you, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Number one, who's your target audience for your content? If you decide to do a lot of things without thinking who this is for, you know, then it becomes really confusing. So, be very clear on your audience. Secondly, why should your audience care about your content? A lot of times we are so passionate about what we do, we forget the part that what we're creating is for our audience. And if they do not care about what you do, nothing's going to happen. Thirdly, where will your content live, reside? What are some of the platforms that you're working on? Um I know that Instagram is not for everyone, and I also know that LinkedIn is not for everyone. So choose your internet platform carefully. And how will you drive traffic to your content? You know, Creating content and posting it on social media is one thing, but then to drive traffic to your content is a totally different matter. So that is something that you also have to think about. Uh, what do you want people to do after they engage with your content? So with our content, there needs to be a strategy. It's just cannot be just a one-off thing. It needs to be something along the lines of a series where people are prompted to do something with your content, either ask a question, either there's a call to action, anything which engages them. um, and if you're someone who thinks that you don't have enough time, look at your content sharing strategy. What are you doing with your content? So for example, do you just do things off the cuff without any plan? um, have you worked out specific internet platforms where you will share your content? So there's LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. Some people use all of them. Some people just stick to one. What is your thing? Do you have templates ready for your content? Now, a lot of times when people think that they don't have enough time is because every time they want to share content, they want to come up with something new. That takes a lot of time. But if you have figured out different templates, it saves you a lot of time. Do you have a schedule? Uh, a lot of times I've heard people saying that you have to do things every day. No, you don't. I've seen some of the great content creators, and they will only post maybe once or twice a month, but they get a lot of engagement. So it really depends on what you want to do. Um, and if nothing is working, there's always the option to outsource your content. So based on this, I just wanted to share a couple of things. During Women's History Month, I interviewed someone, and it was very specific about that particular month. And the content that I created, you know, a lot of engagement happened because of that. So I wanted to share a few quick examples on that. So I did a podcast, and the way I thought about engaging the audience was, and it works well with all the videos. Have your title up there so people know what your video is about. Subtitles are a must because a lot of times people just scroll through content and they are not really listening to your video. They just want to read. So subtitles always help. And ask questions. When you ask questions, people start to think, and they might share a comment based on your question. And also, I mentioned this earlier, call to action. What do you want people to do after they see your content? Uh, Another thing I wanted to share on, if you've done a video, figure out a way to repurpose it and share it on other platforms. So I do one video and I share it on YouTube, I share it on Instagram. I have different templates ready. So with one piece of content, I'm using different platforms to share my ideas. In conclusion, and this works, if you are a solopreneur, a professional, if you can take out 3 hours a month, you can build your brand, you can nurture your audience, and you can create engagement. Most importantly, you can generate and convert more leads. And if you need help with any of these areas, inbox me. Now, let's get back to Aisha. And before we go to Aisha, I just want to share a couple of things about her. Look at her. She gets mentioned in these magazines about what she does. She gets interviewed on television, and then she wins awards. And most importantly, she takes out time to share these things on social media so people get to learn about it. So, with that, I'm going to stop this slide show and go back to Aisha and get her opinion on all that we talked about. What are your thoughts, Aisha, on social selling and using all these platforms? What do you recommend?
Those were excellent tips, and I would recommend following those tips. I know it's